I'm Linda Krieger with True Point Bank. Cheering on local teams is a community tradition at True Point Bank. We are a local bank supporting our local schools, charities, and people. If you aren't banking locally, it's time to make the switch. Stop by one of our offices or visit us online at truepointbank.com. This football season, have pride in our local teams and bank local with True Point Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The United States no longer has a southern border. Twin Valley is 3-0, and Union and Graham with another instant classic. Welcome to episode 4.4. After the whistle, I'm your host Brian Moore, along with Tom Krieger, and abstentia, Mr. Greg Tester. How's your week?
It's good, boys. I can't keep up with all these games. They're playing on Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, and
then the people that are supposed to play,
they're not playing. Yeah, it's crazy year. Yeah. Crazy year.
It's one of those things. Speaking of crazy weeks, I understand you got a phone call from Bishop Sycamore.
Yeah. I applied to be Bishop Sycamore's head coach, and
well, I hope that works out for you.
Give us an update in a couple more weeks.
All right. Well, hopefully the process does. You need a letter of recommendation. Well, I don't know if you need one from me, but anybody else, give them one. All right. Well, let's get straight to it. Last week's recap. A lot of games to cover. We're going to hit it really fast. So here we go, folks. Up first, we have Thomas Walker and Castlewood, which actually played earlier this week.
They played yesterday.
Yesterday, okay. Well, that's very early.
No, Monday.
Monday, okay. Zach Kidwell, Tom Walker, 36, Castlewood, 13. The Mustard Biscuit Brigade falls short again. Kidwell had 3 touchdowns, 3 two-point conversions. It was pretty much all him all night. Tom Walker had 304 yards of total offense in the win.
And if I'm not mistaken, Coach Nick Johnson got quarantined. And he couldn't make it to the game. Wonder if that had anything to do with it.
They could have very well had something to do with it.
No, I'm just busting on Coach Johnson. Hope you feel better. If you have the
Rona,
the COVID, I hope it's light on you, and hope you get well, and just hope you're just quarantined.
Yeah. Landon Taylor, notable stat for Castlewood, had 124 yards rushing, 2 scores, as well as he picked off a pass. He's been a constant the last couple of years for Castlewood as Landon Taylor, but in his effort, the Blue Devils came up short, 36-13. Next, Twin Valley improves 3-0 with a 16-9 victory over Northwood. Northwood had a 9-0 lead. Northwood actually kicked a field goal. Nick Prater missed one, hit a 33-yarder right before halftime to give them the 9-0.
And it was almost enough.
Yeah, it almost was. Well, Twin Valley was trying to get a quick score before halftime, threw an interception. Next thing you know, Northwood, a 53-yard interception returned for a touchdown, and it's 9-0 at the half. It looked like things were going south, but the second half was all Twin Valley. Matthew Lester had an 11-yard touchdown run that iced the game for the Panthers with about 4.5 minutes left to go. Jacob Cooper also had another big game for Twin Valley. He had 1 touchdown returned as well as an 80-yard touchdown return. He had about a 70-some-yard run returned on a holding penalty. So Twin Valley improves to 3-0. With the win, they play Craig County this week. Next, a really big ball game. George Wythe 27, Carroll County 20. 2 overtime game there. Big game, big win for George Wythe.
That's the most points they've scored this year.
Yeah, it's probably the most points they've given up too, because their defense hasn't given up much. George Wythe was down 14-0, and then came back and pulled up the win there. The Division I recruit from Carroll County, Benji Gosnell, had 141 yards rushing on 16 carries, but he left the game with an injury, so we're going to try to stay updated on that and see what his status is. Hopefully he'll be able to return and get back on the field playing. Layden Houston's touchdown run in the second overtime put the Maroons up, and then Luke Jolly was able to get an interception there to seal the deal in overtime for George Wythe. 27-20. Maroons improved to 2-2. All right, next big time scoring. A lot of points put up on the board. Patrick Henry 62, Lehigh 34.
Well, Patrick Henry's put up the points the last 3 weeks. Even in the loss to Virginia High, they put up 50, I think, or 48.
40 something. I think 40.
Yeah.
40.
So they're putting up the points.
Well, I hate to say it, but it's a good one. Jaquan McPhail did anything but fail for the Rebels. He had 5 touchdowns, and he did it in all kinds of fashion, 3 different ways. He had rushing touchdowns of 37, 44, and 72 yards. He picked up a fumble, ran it back for a touchdown, and also had an 84-yard kickoff return. So he was Mr. Everything. And instead of McPhail, he was McSucceed the other night for PH 62-34. PH improves 2-1 with the win. Next big ball game, big game atmosphere at least. Abingdon Richlands 42-0. All Falcons in this one. Cole Lambert.
Back-to-back shutouts.
Cole Lambert is back for the first game for the Falcons after the injury during baseball season. He threw for 159 yards, 2 touchdowns. Richlands just managed 108 yards of offense, and this is the second week in a row that the Big Blue win machine has been blanked. So Richlands 1-2 now are struggling. Congratulations to Abingdon. Next, we've got Christiansburg 28, Wise 20. This was actually a very good football game. Kenyon Johnson Buchanan had 53 yards on 18 carries and scored 2 first-quarter touchdowns to lead Christiansburg over Wise Central. But Central pulled this game and made it close in the end.
And I'm thinking Wise played without Mullins.
That's even more impressive if Wise was in this game without without Mullins. I'll get
Muslims.
Muslims.
We'll be canceled next week. Sorry, guys.
No offense to our Muslim friends there. Central cut it to a 1-point game with like 4 minutes to go, and I actually think they intentionally gave up a touchdown in order
to try to score,
to get the ball back. Yeah. So the final margin was 28-20. Tyson Tester had a kickoff return, 90 yards for a score there. So shout out to him. But in the loss, Wise actually looked pretty good. So this is even though it's a defeat, Christiansburg's a pretty tough opponent. So Wise picks up another L there, and it's going to put them behind the 8 ball as we move toward the playoffs. Up next, Gate City and Marion. Gate City 34, Marion 8. Carson Jenkins had 205 rushing yards on just 11 carries for Gate City. Marion, once again, continues to struggle. They have 1 victory on the season. That's against Northwood. Jenkins ripped off a 63-yard touchdown run on the very first play of the game, and it was all Gate City after that. The Blue Devils now are 1-2. Marion didn't score until there was like a couple minutes left. Probably had some seconds in there. Gate City did. J.B. Carroll scored on a 45-yard touchdown run. So Scarlet Hurricanes continue to struggle, and anytime you turn the ball over 5 times, you're not going to win. Next, this was a big game. Riverview, West Virginia, 30. Hurley, 22 in overtime at the Clift. At the Clift. Riverview recovered a Hurley fumble in overtime and basically escaped with the win. Rebels much improved from the week prior to that against Phelps.
Well, Hurley's getting their team back. They had some people quarantined. They had the flood. They had a lot going on. And Coach John Paul Justice and staff they're slowly but surely getting things rolling.
Well, Peyton Hurley was with the Rebels, had 148 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. And the Rebels' defense was pretty consistent all night as well. But Hurley's offense really didn't struggle. They moved the ball. They had 240-some yards offense. So, as you said, definitely an improvement from that week. And, of course, all the distractions going on over in Hurley. It's good to see the Rebels performing better. Hopefully next week they can get them a win. All right, up next we've got Graham and Union. This was an instant classic.
Just like every time they play.
Last
second every time.
Last second or something every game. 28-27. Graham with the win. It was just last April, I think it was, when Union beat them 30-24
on the last second.
And when Satterfield took off on that 59-yard run.
And then the year before that, didn't they kick a field goal or block a field goal and
yes,
or something like that? And it's always coming down close. I might be thinking of the Richlands and Union game, but
may have been.
But Graham gets the revenge.
Yeah, and Graham, some of the players that were missing in that April game were present tonight.
And,
but
just
still
1 point.
Look at the margin. Yeah, look
right.
at the point differential. There's just 1 point different here. So this is.
If I was a betting man, which, I mean.
You are.
If I was a betting man, I'd say these two will play again.
I would seriously expect that.
The way it's looking right now.
Yep. This game was tied 4 times. And basically, the extra point was the difference. Ben Morgan hit that.
Even though WCYB's got Ridgeview ahead of Graham in the top 5.
Yeah, well, that's WCYB. What do they know? What do they know?
Or CNN.
CNN. Yeah, there you go. MSNBC.
Fake news.
So a tough loss. Travis Turner said at the end of the game, he said, I thought we did a good job of trying to control the game, running the football. Xavier Lomax once again had a good game for Union. Bears had 304 rushing yards compared to Graham, only 172. But Graham was able to move the ball through the air a lot more successfully.
And they come up with a couple of turnovers there, key times too.
So
a big win for Graham.
Yes, big time. And that's a big ball game. It's getting to the point now to where when these two teams play, you need to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. All right, we have 2 more scores real quick. Giles defeated Narrows 31-21. That's a big rivalry game there. So Giles picks up their 2nd win of the season. And then Grundy Ridgeview pretty much dominated most of that game. And I don't actually.
I think it was like 42-13 or 38-13, somewhere around there.
I think it was. So congratulations to those teams picking up a win. Grundy, of course, will come back this week. And who is it they've got? Homeacre. So that's a big BDD game. All right, so that takes care of all of our games that we
probably
have.
The district championship.
Very
come Friday.
Yeah, could very well be. All right, so that takes care. We'd like to thank Buchanan Therapy Services for sponsoring this segment of the show. Up next, we have our Peak Performer of the Week, brought to you by True Point Bank. And this week's Peak Performer of the Week is Jaquan McPhail, who is now named Jaquan McSucceed. And he is from Patrick Henry High School and managed to get in the end zone 5 different times, 3 different ways: kick return, fumble recovery, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Our True Point Bank Peak Performer of the Week, Mr. Jaquan McPhail from Patrick Henry High School. All right, up next, our Southern Gap Outdoor Adventures Big Talk segment. Big Talk this week brought to you by Southern Gap Outdoor Adventures. All right, Coach, so not a lot this week on Big Talk, but we would like to throw something out there. Those of you that are aware, Buchanan County Public Schools have been discussing consolidation and voted on it a little less than a year ago to consolidate 4 high schools. At the most recent board meeting this past week, there was a move and a second to request that the Army Corps of Engineers ask the Army Corps of Engineers if they would permit the county to build 2 high schools. Now, we haven't heard from the Army Corps yet. We don't know what they're going to say. I have my own speculation, but This was brought up and was proposed at the most recent meeting. So could we be looking at 2 new high schools in Buchanan County as opposed to the one that we originally thought we'd have at Southern Gap?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, that's just going to defeat the purpose of, you might as well leave all 4 open. Just let everybody have a school. I mean, if you're going to do it, just everybody, the whole county needs to be consolidated. Now, I'm not getting into where it's going to be. I don't care if it's at Bradshaw Mountain. I don't care if it's up on Bill Young. I don't care if it's down Slate Creek. The kids need a new school. I don't care where they put it. Does not matter to me. They just need a new facility, new stuff these kids in this county need.
Well, this is one of the few opportunities Buchanan County is going to. You don't just get $90-some million.
And if they let, yeah, try. If they let $92 million leave them, and they get stuck with nothing,
they'll not get anything anytime
no.
in any foreseeable future. My take on this is this is just the political process of consolidation. I think that this is just a hiccup, a roadblock, or what have you. It's one of those situations where, you know, the people are doing what they have to do to please their constituents, politically speaking, and I do not suspect that the Army Corps of Engineers will allow them to build 2 schools in that the money that comes from this project comes from replacing the 2 schools that are located at Hurley.
Yes.
And therefore, the new facility, as my understanding, must accommodate the Hurley students. So if you got 2 different schools built in 2 different sections of the county, how can those 2 schools accommodate Hurley students? I don't see how that's possible. Now, maybe there's a loophole there or something that I'm not aware of, but I don't think the Army Corps is going to do it.
Well, that and from Grundy to Council, the enrollment's dropping so much. There's, I mean,
yeah, the enrollment's down every school.
So you're going to build 2 schools and put 250, 300 in each of them, and you're back in the same.
Yeah.
It just don't make sense. Like I said, the kids need a school. I'm not getting into. I don't care where it's at. I will drive to wherever it is.
I'm with you.
I mean, it does not matter to me. They just need a new school, and they need to build it in this county somewhere and let these kids have a nice place to go.
Well, I think they encountered something like this in Dickinson County. That not a lot of people would agree on the location. Eventually, they had to put the differences aside, and whether they got outvoted or what, they made a decision. They stuck with it, and you know, they've got what they've got, and that's why we elect these people, is to make these hard decisions.
That's right. And you're not going to make everybody happy.
No, you can't do
on
it.
anything you do.
And I think we're seeing a lot of that. So it's going to be interesting whether, as Buchanan County has 1 or 2 schools, that is still in the balance. We will hopefully find out more about this as we move forward, and we'll let you know about it. That includes our Big Talk segment for this week, brought to you by Southern Gap Outdoor Adventures. All right, up next we have our Bellacino's Player of the Week, and this week's Bellacino's Player of the Week is Chris Rife from the Hurley Rebels. Chris had 9 solos, 9 assists on defense, and let's go to the film and take a look at Chris.
We're here at Bellacino's with the Bellacino's Player of the Week, Chris Rife from Hurley, Virginia. Chris had 18 tackles, 9 solos, and 9 assists against Riverview, West Virginia, where they came up short 30-22 in overtime. Chris, Friday was a big game for you. Walk us through your preparation for the game and how the game went for you.
Well, I feel like the game went pretty good as a learning experience. We didn't get what we wanted, which was the win, but we played our hearts out that night. And the week before, well, the few days before at practice, we really worked hard at it, and we knew about what they was going to run at us. They didn't really do anything different than what we had studied for and practiced for.
You just needed to wrap up a little better on some of the series there.
We just didn't finish like we needed to.
Okay, well, it seemed like you had a good game, and congratulations on being Player of the Week. And we're here with Chris Rife. 18 tackles, 9 solos, and 9 assists. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
Good morning, America. I'm Charles.
That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
There is a major incident in Lower Manhattan.
We just got a report in that there's been some sort of explosion at
Good evening, and we begin tonight with the monster hurricane and its deadly impact already. And tonight, up and down the East Coast,
All right, congratulations to Chris Wright from Hurley High School on being the Bellacino's Player of the Week this week. Hopefully Chris and the Rebels can get back in the win column pretty soon. Great effort this past week, came up just a little bit short. All right, up next we have our top 5 brought to you by the Patriot Outpost. Check out the Patriot Outpost at patriotoutpost.net. It's a patriot-minded blog, podcast, and vlog that you can check out regarding patriotism, liberty, faith, family, and self-reliance. patriotoutpost.net. All right, Coach. Top 5. If you want me to, I'll start with mine while you kind of scan over yours there. All right, so top 5 this week. I had some changes in mine. You can go ahead. I can see it. I had some changes in mine in 1A, and not a lot of changes in 2A, but I did in 1A. And my changes in 1A start out with number 5. I've got Rural Retreat coming in at number 5 in 1A. And George Wythe, I've got them knocking on the door. I think their defense is showing up to be pretty solid. But right now I've got Rural Retreat in that spot. Number 4, this is a new entry to my top 5, is Twin Valley. Twin Valley is 3-0, and they're facing the game this week, chance to go 4-0. And you know as well as I do that anytime, you know, a small school, you can go through 4 in a row like that. That's a big deal. So Twin Valley slides in at number 4, and this week I've got Grundy at number 3 on my list. Just because even though they lost this past week, I feel like Grundy's one of the top teams in 1A. And number 2, I have the Holston Cavaliers at number 2, and at number 1, I've got Chilhowie. I will say this: I'm on the fence about PH. I'm really wanting to put them in there, and I'm probably going to wait another week and see what happens before I do anything with them. But I'm really been impressed by the points they're putting on the board. All right, I'll turn that 1A over to you.
All right, 1A I have at number 5 that broke in, and you know I'm just tired of keeping them out for no reason. I've got the John I. Burton Raiders. I mean, they're going to be there if they COVID don't hit and stuff. They've had a lot of obstacles. They played a tough schedule. I'm putting them in there. I'm tired of leaving them out. I know they're 0-2 or 0-3, but they've played a tough schedule, playing Union and teams. All right, number 4, I've got the PH Rebels. I got Patrick Henry. They're scoring a lot of points. Scoring a lot of points.
Doing it on the ground.
That's right. Doing it on the ground. Number 3, I have Holston. Looks like they've just picked up where they've left off last year. I mean, yeah, they're still rolling. Number 2, I got Chihai at number 2. And that only leaves one place for the number 1, and that is the G Wave. I got the Grundy Golden Wave at number 1.
All right.
And I still believe right now that until something changed my mind, Grundy and Chilhowie will play for the region championship.
All right, did you call it? You heard it there, folks.
I really do.
4.4. You go ahead. You'll do 2A.
All right. Yeah, my 2A is I've got one that popped in there this week. I got the Tazewell Bulldogs. In there. They're 1-1. The Big R made an exit out of the top 5, so I've got Tazewell in there at number 5. I got Wise at number 4. Union dropped to number 3 from 1 to 3. It's about time. I knew it would happen. I knew finally that I would be able to get back to my old ways.
You're getting there.
Yeah. All right. And number 2, I've got the Wolf Pack, baby. They are rolling. They are rolling. And number 1, back where they're supposed to be, is the Palmer Patrons Graham G. Beer.
I thought you was drinking that Turner's tea.
Apples. It's all show. Fake news.
Back on the hard stuff, I guess.
Yeah, when they went to fanny packs, I couldn't handle it.
Fanny packs pretty good.
They need to go back to the backpacks.
Yeah, I do. I'll admit that.
But the G-men are at number one.
Even Dora used a backpack.
That's right.
And even she did. But anyhow. My 2A top 5, well, I've got the Big Blue Wind Machine at number 5. I'm still hanging on to hope here. But I admit 2 straight blanks. It's hard for me to leave them in there, but I'm going to give them one more shot at it. Number 4, I've got Y Central with the loss. I still think they're a top 4 team in 2A. Number 3, I've got the Ridgeview Wolfpack. And number 2, I've got the Union Bears. And at number 1, I've got the G-Men. Union didn't really move a whole lot for me. Ridgeview didn't slide up in front of them. So I've got the top. I still think Graham and Union are the top 2. So that rounds up my top 5. So there you have it. That's our top 5 for this week. Top 5 is always brought to you by the Patriot Outpost, patriotoutpost.net.
And hopefully sometime we can get Coach Tester back. Ridgeview really put him down for the count. I mean, COVID couldn't even done to him what Ridgeview did to him.
Yeah, he's hurting. He's limping right now.
I'm hoping he can get back to himself.
He's licking his wounds, as old saying goes, is what he's doing. All right, up next we've got Stump the Crig, brought to you by Grundy Auto Sales. All right, as usual, each week we try to stump the Crig, the powers that be do. And as we always tell you, there's a hermetically sealed envelope somewhere in a bank. Sometimes there's multiple envelopes. It really, we don't really know. Sealed in a bank somewhere. But those envelopes are there. They have been protected under watchful care of armed security and was just recently delivered here in an armored truck. And I have those today. And most of you are perfectly aware that when in regards to Stump the Crig, we've got a new format that we've implemented. So we're going to introduce once again that new format, but we'll be back right after these messages. All right, folks, welcome back to the show. Thanks for Grundy Auto Sales sponsoring Stump the Crig. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I have 3 hermetically sealed envelopes here, as I indicated before, and they have changed things up quite a bit on us. They now want you to answer the question before I even read it, which is definitely stepping up the game, but so far 2 weeks in a row now you've nailed it. We're going to see if you can do it again. All right, so here's the first envelope. If you want to do whatever it is you do there to figure out the answer.
I might have to phone a beefy.
Phone a beefy. You don't get any phone a beefies. What do you do? Like, is this osmosis? No.
Cyclone.
Okay.
Cyclone.
Cyclone. What do you call the clone of a man named Cy? Cyclone.
I tried easy as that, boy.
Easy, I tell you, I don't know how you do it. All right, that's 1 down. I have the second envelope. You have not seen this, is that correct?
I have not seen it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, that one's easy. High rollers. I knew that one. High rollers.
High rollers. Final answer.
Final answer.
High rollers. What do you, describe a stoned bowling team? High rollers.
High roller.
Pistol, you bowl. You know? You ever bowled stoned? You ever bowled stoned? A stoned bowling team. High rollers. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. All right. Third final envelope. You have not seen this envelope.
No.
All right, here you go.
Yummy, 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 yum. Yummy, 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 yum. Fondue. Fondue.
Fondue?
Fondue.
Fondue. Okay, fondue. What do you get on your fawn if you leave it out all night? What is a fawn?
It's a deer? Ain't it a baby deer?
Yes, I don't know. What do you get on your fawn if you leave it out all night? I guess. I don't know.
I'm not a hunter now.
Well, I am, but I don't know. Fondue.
Fondue.
All right. Well, you got all three of them correct. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. It's on a cake.
Yes, it's something you eat. Fondue something.
I don't eat it. It tastes like wax.
If you leave your fawn out all night, you get dew on it. I guess you would if you left it out all night. Wake up in the morning, there's dew on it.
If you eat that fondue, you get another dew.
All right. Well,
bad dew. It starts with a D.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right, there we go, folks. 3 for 3 once again on Stump the Crig. Thanks to Grundy Auto Sales for trying to stump the Crig again. All right, now it's time for our pigskin prognostications. Last week I was 11-2, and you were 11-2. So both of us were in fuego.
Yeah, I think you picked Narrows last week.
I did not pick Nars last week. I picked the Giles Spartans. All right, so here we go. This week's games, we're going to run them down. We've got a few of them that's going to be our game of the week. We'll talk a little bit more about them, but otherwise we're going to get through these. Radford at the Berg, Christiansburg. I'm going with Christiansburg as well. I think they are just one of the better teams in the area. Radford playing up just a little bit above their level, but I think Radford's going to be game for them. This will be the first loss for Coach Chris. Next, Gate City at Union.
The Bears.
I'm going to go with Union as well in this one. I just think they've got too much for Gate City. Gate City's still improving, but not quite the team that can knock off Union at this time. And like you said, backpack versus fanny pack. Union's using the fanny pack.
Yeah, they need to go back to the backpack.
John Battle at Patrick Henry.
Patrick Henry.
I got PA.
McLovin is way too good right now.
McLovin?
Yeah.
McLovin. That's fine with me. We'll go with McLovin or Mick Succeed, whatever you're going to call it. Yeah, I think PH is going to grind it out on the ground and then take care of business. Lee at Ridgeview.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and pick this one first. I'm going to go with the Wolfpack in this one.
It's tough. I'll go with Ridgeview.
We'll go with Ridgeview. Lee continues to struggle. Graham at Galax. This should be a good one.
Graham. Gee, man.
On with
probably by about double digits.
Think so?
Yeah.
I'm going to take G-Men in this one as well, but I think it's going to be closer than what you think. I think it's going to be a little bit tighter. Grayson County at Marion. Now, this is actually a big game for Stephen James at Grayson County because he used to be the defensive coordinator at Marion. And while he was defensive coordinator at Marion, Coach Smith played defense and offense at Marion. So this is kind of a...
Well, I'm going with Grayson County.
That's who I'm going with. So Timmy Smith gets to play against his former defensive coach. But I'm going to pick Grayson as well in this one. Riverheads at Tazewell. This game wasn't originally on the schedule, I don't think.
It shouldn't be, period. I mean,
what can Tazewell do to win this ball game? What
absolutely nothing. Riverheads gets COVID and don't get to come.
Okay, so that's the only chance.
Only chance.
Only chance. All right, I'm going to go with Riverheads too. I think that defense may disappear.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it did once before.
Well,
all right, Lebanon.
I think that's postponed.
At Chilhowie?
No, that was last week.
Oh, let's pick it anyhow. There's so many of these games it's messed up with.
Chilhowie.
Yeah, I'm going with Chilhowie in this one. Assuming that the game is being played, we'll go with Chilhowie, especially the fact with it being at High. Bland at East Mont.
East Montgomery. No, wait a minute. Yeah.
Is it possible that Bland could get
back-to-back wins? Did they win last week?
Yeah. I'm going to go with
It's at
Eastmont.
Eastmont, so.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Eastmont on this one. Is that who you got?
Yes.
All right, Eastmont. Fort Chiswell at Giles.
Giles.
I think Giles is finding a little bit of
starting to roll
stride
now.
right now. So that single wing has a way of doing that. Grundy at Honaker, big BDD matchup. This potentially
Could be the district. Well, they own they
own the advantage.
Yeah, they will have their destiny in their own hands.
Yes.
Whoever wins this game.
Yep.
And I'm going with the #1 team in my top 5, the Mighty Way.
All right, so you're taking Grundy in this one. I'm a little conflicted on this one. I think Honaker, if it hadn't been for COVID, might could have brought a better game. But the fact it's at Honaker, that's a plus for them. I think Honaker is going to be very well prepared for Grundy. Probably broke down every game film Grundy's got and analyze it. But I still think Grundy's got the edge.
Yeah, because it's going to be tough to know what Grundy's going to do Friday.
I doubt that. You know what Grundy's going to do. You just got to stop it.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think Honaker is going to be well prepared for it, but I'm going to give Grundy the nod in this one. But could it be upset? Could this be upset alert right here?
But really, is it an upset?
On paper, it would be. But,
Probably.
But not really, I mean.
No, it should be a good game, but I think Grundy just wears them. They run 60 and 70 plays a game.
Hurley at Tug Valley. I would like to pick the Rebels in this one, but the fact they're crossing the state line, boys. And
You're down 21-0.
You're already in the hole when you go there, and I'm not saying that because it's speculation.
No. Last time I went to Naugatuck, ain't that Pocahontas, and now went to Naugatuck.
I don't know.
Back in the day, the Pilgrims.
No.
What?
I don't know how we got on that. Yeah.
But anyway, we went over our first play from scrimmage. We handed it to Josh Smith and went 88 yards and scored a touchdown. But nobody seen the flag until after he scored. Wide receiver didn't have a mouthpiece in.
Wait a minute, I was there that one. I saw that. I was there. Yes, you're correct. I remember that.
The wide receiver did not have, really.
Yeah, I remember that. And that's the kind of stuff that Hurley's probably going to have to deal
I'm
with.
I'm going with Tug Valley just because of that reason.
Next, we got Craig County at Twin Valley. Twin Valley has a chance to
Never
go
again.
4-0.
I don't care about superstition and little stition. Valley Rose.
TV rolls. Well, I tell you what, I think they're a little bit worried. Craig County's going to line up foot to foot, double tight, and just pound, pound, pound. And if they can get the lead, they'll grind the clock out on you. So
no chance.
No chance. All right.
Craig County has a chance to win. Their percentages are even with Tazewell's percentages.
Okay.
And what did I say about Tazewell?
They had none.
0% chance.
All right. Not even a little bit.
Nothing.
All right. So I'm going with Twin Valley as well in that one. I think Twin Valley improves to 4-0. Next game, Castlewood at Rye Cove. This is going to be a good.
I'm going with the biscuits and mustard.
I'm going with the Mustard Biscuit Brigade, MBB.
They get on the winning track.
Castlewood, I think somewhere in the ball game they're going to run the wheel.
They still might be playing this time next week.
Could very well be. So I'm going Castlewood. You got Castlewood, right?
Yeah.
All right, Thomas Walker at Claiborne, Tennessee. Tom Walker could win this one. It's going to be tight. They're crossing.
Where's Claiborne?
Down there next to whoever.
Naugatuck.
Yeah, down there next to Naugatuck.
Claiborne.
I'm going to pick Claiborne in this one. Tom Walker, excuse me. I'm going to pick Tom Walker. Who you got?
I'm going with the Thomas Walker. Nick's, if he's out again, it looks like they'll pull off another one.
Hopefully he'll be on the sideline. Retreat at Perry McClure. I don't know anything about
I'm going with Jamie Hughes. They're going to be prepared. Roll Retreat wins the game.
Okay, I'm going to go with Rural Retreat as well. And then East Side
Holston.
at Holston versus Holston. So I'm going I think Holston probably going to win that one as well. I think that's going to be a good football game. I don't think it's going to be lopsided by any means. All right, so that rounds out our picks. I can't think, is there any other game that we're not picking right now?
I'm sure they are. They are every week. We didn't even pick Union and Graham last week.
Every time you pull up a schedule, it changes, and it's hard to stay on these things. We got what we got, I guess. All right. You have anything else?
No, just good week, guys. Just if we miss a game, send it on Facebook that we missed it, or if schedules change, just give us a heads up and tell us.
Yep, we sure would appreciate it. All right. That's all I've got. Until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
Coach Krieger.
Reminding you, or rather asking you, if it's 0 degrees outside and the weatherman says that the temperature is going to be 2 times warmer tomorrow, what will the temperature be?
Also, don't forget about the Hurley meat market. We didn't, I mean, you can't beat Hurley's meat market's meat. Or meat. Good day.